was when things changed. She changed it after that. But I always cared.
How do you feel about seeing Robin after just everything?
Well, our last interaction was really weird.
Yeah.
Just when we were trying to figure out everything with the way that the property was divided. I think the issue was getting our name.
Sister Wives, Meri Brown's Quiet Revenge. Welcome back to the channel, Sister Wives Nation. If you're not already subscribed, smash that subscribe button right now and hit the notification bell because you do not want to miss what's coming. We've got exclusive tea on Meri Brown's savage response to Kody's latest interview. And trust me, this is the revenge arc we've been waiting for. But before we get into it, let me ask you something. Have you been watching Meri transform from doormat to absolute queen? Because what she just did in response to Kody's most recent interview is the most perfectly calculated, quietly devastating clapback I've ever seen. And Kody? He has no idea what's coming for him. Let's get into it. The interview that started it all, so let's set the stage here. 2 weeks ago, Kody sat down for what he thought would be a redemption interview. You know the type, where he gets to play victim, rewrite history, and paint himself as the misunderstood patriarch who lost everything through no fault of his own. In this interview, Kody spent considerable time discussing his relationship with Meri. And surprise, surprise, according to him, everything was Meri's fault. He claimed she was distant, cold, unwilling to work on the relationship. He brought up the catfishing situation again, using it as evidence that Meri had checked out of the marriage years ago. He painted himself as the long-suffering husband who tried everything to save the relationship, but Meri just wouldn't meet him halfway. Classic Kody behavior, right? Blame everyone else, take zero accountability, act like the perpetual victim. The interviewer asked him point blank if he had any regrets about how things ended with Meri. And you know what Kody said? He said he regretted wasting so many years trying to fix something that was already broken. Let that sink in. He called his marriage to Meri, his first wife, a waste of time. Now, most people would expect Meri to fire back immediately. Maybe post a cryptic Instagram quote. Maybe give her own interview setting the record straight. Maybe even go on social media and drag him through the comments section. But Meri Brown is playing a completely different game now. And what she did instead is absolutely brilliant. Meri's strategic silence. Here's the thing about Meri's response. At first, there wasn't one. Radio silence. Not a single social media post addressing the interview. No statements to the press. No defensive explanations. Nothing. And that silence? It was loud. While Kody was out there doing interviews trying to control the narrative, Meri was completely unbothered. She didn't even acknowledge that the interview happened. For someone who used to desperately seek Kody's approval, who spent years trying to prove she was worthy of his love and attention, this silence is revolutionary. The old Meri would have been devastated by his comments. She would have defended herself, tried to win him back, or at least engaged with his narrative. But new Meri? She's operating on a level Kody can't even comprehend, because she's figured out something crucial. The best revenge isn't responding to someone who hurt you. It's living so well, so successfully, so joyfully that they become completely irrelevant to your story. What Meri did instead, so while Kody was giving interviews about their failed marriage, what was Meri actually doing? Oh, just living her absolute best life in the most public, successful, and visible way possible. 3 days after Kody's interview aired, Meri posted photos from a business retreat in Hawaii. Not just any business retreat, but one celebrating top earners in her company. There she was, surrounded by successful women, looking absolutely radiant, living in luxury, and thriving in every possible way. The caption? Simple and devastating. Surrounded by excellence, living in abundance, grateful for this journey. Not a single mention of Kody. Not even a subtle dig. Just pure, unbothered success. But here's where it gets really good. The photos showed Meri at an exclusive resort, participating in activities that clearly cost serious money. We're talking private yacht excursions, gourmet dining experiences, luxury spa treatments. This wasn't just a vacation. This was a flex. And the message was crystal clear. While Kody is giving interviews about their failed relationship, Meri is out here making money, building her empire, and living a life of freedom and luxury that she's funding entirely on her own. The bed and breakfast power move now. If the Hawaii trip was the appetizer, what came next was the main course of Meri's revenge meal. Within a week of Kody's interview, Meri announced a massive expansion of Lizzie's heritage in her bed and breakfast in Utah. We're not talking about adding a few rooms or updating some decor. Meri revealed she's purchased the adjacent property and is planning a significant renovation that will nearly double the capacity of her B&B. She's hiring additional staff, expanding her events calendar, and positioning Lizzie's heritage in as one of the premier boutique destinations in southern Utah. Do you understand what this means? While Kody is sitting in Flagstaff feeling sorry for himself and giving interviews about how his wives failed him, Meri is building an actual business empire. She's investing in property, creating jobs, and establishing long-term financial security that has absolutely nothing to do with him. The timing of this announcement wasn't accidental. Meri could have revealed these expansion plans anytime, but she chose to do it immediately after Kody's interview, sending a very clear message. I don't need you, I never needed you, and I'm building something you could never give me on my own. The social media strategy. Now let's talk about Meri's social media presence in the weeks following Kody's interview, because this is where her strategy gets absolutely masterful. Meri has been posting regularly, but here's what she's not posting about: Kody, the interview, their relationship, or anything related to sister wives drama. She's posting motivational content about overcoming adversity, but it's never explicitly about Kody. She shares photos with friends and family, showing a full, rich life surrounded by people who genuinely love and support her. She documents her fitness journey, her style evolution, and her confidence transformation. Every single post is a subtle reminder that she's thriving. And the comments section? Flooded with support from fans who are watching her live her best life and absolutely loving it. But here's the genius part. By not directly addressing Kody or his interview, Meri isn't giving him any ammunition. She's not creating drama he can respond to. She's not feeding into his victim narrative. She's simply living well, posting about it, and letting the contrast speak for itself. And for Kody, who thought his wives would never make it without him, this must be a complete and utter devastation. Meri is not only surviving, she's thriving, and she's doing it while keeping in close relationships with the family members he thought were only going to remain loyal to him. The financial sources close to Meri have indicated that her business ventures, especially her B&B and her success with LuLaRoe, have made her financially stable in ways she never was during the marriage. She's not relying on TLC money. She's not dependent on any shared family resources. She's built her own wealth, and she's being very strategic about showing this independence. The luxury trips, the business investments, the property purchases, these aren't just lifestyle choices. They're statements. They're proof that she doesn't need Kody's financial support or the plural marriage structure to live well. This is particularly pointed because Kody has always controlled the family finances. He made decisions about property, about money distribution, about who got what resources. Meri's financial independence strips him of that power completely. When Kody says their marriage was a waste of time, Meri's response is essentially, "That's fine. I've made my own time valuable." And that's the most perfect revenge possible. The therapy and growth narrative here is another element of Meri's response that's quietly devastating. She's been very open about her therapy journey and personal growth without making it about Kody. In recent posts and stories, Meri has discussed working with therapists, doing personal development work, and healing from past trauma. She talks about learning her worth, setting boundaries, and refusing to accept less than she deserves. She never explicitly says, "I was in an emotionally abusive marriage," but anyone with reading comprehension skills can connect the dots. She's describing patterns of manipulation, gaslighting, and emotional neglect without naming Kody directly. This is brilliant because it allows her to tell her truth without giving Kody the opportunity to claim she's attacking him. She's speaking generally about her healing journey, but the specifics align perfectly with what viewers have watched play out on Sister Wives for years. And for viewers who've watched Kody treat Meri terribly while she desperately tried to win his approval, seeing her now talk about learning to value herself is incredibly powerful. It's vindication that she's finally seeing what we've all seen, that the problem was never her. The contrast that says everything here is what makes Meri's response so perfectly executed. The contrast between her life and Kody's current situation. While Meri is traveling, expanding her business, glowing in photos, and radiating confidence, what's Kody doing? According to recent reports, he's mostly isolated in Flagstaff with Robin, bitter about his fractured family, and still blaming everyone but himself for the breakdown. 3 of his 4 wives have left him. Many of his adult children have distanced themselves from him. His once large family empire has crumbled. And instead of taking accountability or doing the work to rebuild relationships, he's giving defensive interviews trying to salvage his reputation. Meanwhile, Meri is ascending. Every month she seems happier, more confident, more successful. The woman who spent years begging for Kody scraps of attention is now completely self-sufficient and thriving. The contrast isn't lost on viewers. People are commenting on every one of Meri's posts with messages like, "You're glowing. This is the revenge we love to see. And living well is the best revenge." They see exactly what's happening, and they're here for it. The long game Meri is playing here's what I think is really happening. Meri isn't just responding to one interview. She's building a life that stands as a permanent refutation of everything Kody has said about her. Kody claimed she was cold and distant. She's showing warmth and joy in every photo with friends and family. He said she wouldn't work on the relationship. She's proving she's willing to do deep personal work, just not with someone who doesn't value her. He called their marriage a waste of time. She's demonstrating that her time since leaving has been the most productive and fulfilling of her life. This is the long game. This is revenge that doesn't expire after one news cycle. Every success Meri has from now on, every business milestone, every photo showing her genuinely happy, is a reminder that leaving Kody was the best decision she ever made. And the beauty of this approach is that it's sustainable. Meri doesn't have to maintain anger or bitterness. She just has to keep living well. And that becomes its own form of justice. What this means for sister wives, Meri's response represents something bigger than just one woman's personal growth. It's a statement about what happens when women in these patriarchal structures finally choose themselves. For years, sister wives showed us women competing for one man's attention, sacrificing their own needs, and accepting emotional crumbs. The show normalized a structure where Kody held all the power and the women were expected to be grateful for whatever attention he chose to give them. But now we're watching the epilogue, where 3 of those 4 women have chosen different paths. And they're not just surviving, they're flourishing. Christine has found love again. Janelle is finding herself. And Meri is building an empire. The message is clear. The structure wasn't working because the structure was flawed. And now that these women have stepped outside of it, they're discovering what they're truly capable of. Meri's quiet revenge is proof that the best response to someone who diminished you isn't to argue with them or prove them wrong. It's to step into your full power and let your success speak for itself. The future Meri is building looking at everything Meri has done in response to Kody's interview. It's clear she's not just reacting. She's building towards something. The B&B expansion suggests she's planning long-term investments in her business. The continued social media presence indicates she's building her personal brand. The therapy and personal development work shows she's committed to healing and growth. The friendships and family connections demonstrate she's creating a support system independent of Kody. This is a woman who's not just escaping a bad situation. She's actively constructing a better future. And she's doing it publicly enough that we can all watch and celebrate, but privately enough that she's not performing for cameras or seeking validation. 10 years from now, when people look back at the Sister Wives story, Meri's arc is going to be one of the most compelling. From desperate and devalued to independent and thriving. From begging for attention to unbothered and successful. From trapped in a harmful dynamic to free and flourishing. And Kody gets to watch all of this from the sidelines, knowing that the woman he called a waste of time went on to build something valuable without him. So that's Meri Brown's quiet revenge. No dramatic confrontations. No angry social media posts. No defensive interviews. Just a woman living so well, so publicly, and so successfully that her life becomes the response. Kody wanted to paint Meri as the problem in their relationship. But Meri's thriving post-divorce life suggests the real problem was the relationship itself, specifically his behavior within it. She's not arguing with his narrative. She's not defending herself against his accusations. She's simply building a life so full, so successful, and so joyful that his version of events becomes irrelevant. And honestly, that's the most savage, powerful response she could have given. Living well isn't just the best revenge. Sometimes it's the only revenge worth pursuing. What do you think about Meri's response? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our Sister Wives coverage. And if you want to see Meri continue to thrive, drop a crown emoji in the comments. Let's celebrate women who choose themselves. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.